Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today's video is going to be a previously live streamed draft that was streamed on the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. This was part of the early access event, so thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for that early access account. But without further ado, let's hop into the draft. Alright, let's ready up. Here we go. I don't think I know any of these people, but I know this rare. I had this rare in one of my pre-release kits, and it's an incredible rare. Undercover Operative. It's a little stealthy agent, the Shapeshifter Rogue. You can have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, but if you copy your own creature, then it comes in with a shield counter. This card's very good. It's always going to be the best card on the board, guaranteed. Whether it's tied with the best card on board or it's the best card with a shield counter on it. All depends on if you have the best card on board or your opponent has the best card when you cast it. So Undercover Operative, just a super solid rare. Great pick one, pack one. Other cards in this pack that I've liked are Cleanup Crew. This format has tended to be slower, so just a big 6/6 with a ton of flexibility has been nice. Kill Shot's been solid removal. Celestial Regulator's quite nice for the blue-white tempo kind of deck. Pretty great pack. I'm going to go with the Undercover Operative. So make a great avatar to have the blue shining face. That's true. That's a good point, Flagrance. That would be pretty sweet. Now we have some solid black cards here, so we can move into blue-black. This is another one of those times where knowing your allied colors helps a lot. There are ally-colored stuff, but not enemy-colored stuff. So there's a blue-black duel, but not a blue-red one, and not a blue-green one, because those are enemy colors. So definitely want to push into a black card here to pick an allied color to blue. We have Girder Goons or Whack. So we have a nice efficient removal spell, 4 mana for -4/-4, 1 mana for -4/-4 against a white creature, or we have 5 mana for 4/4 and it makes a 2/2 when it dies, or we can blitz it for 4 mana to just hit them for 4 and get a 2/2 and draw a card. Girder Goons is really nice and flexible. Whack's just pretty good removal-wise. I think there's a lot of good removal in the format. Especially in black, you have Murder at common. So I'm actually going to take Girder Goons over Whack here. That might be wrong, but it's what I shall do. Corrupt Court Official is a card that's been really annoying for me and has played pretty well for my opponents, it looks like. It's a 2-mana 1/1 that makes your opponent discard a card when it hits the board. It's going to give you that 1/1 body for your casualty spells, casualty being one of the main mechanics in blue and black, allowing you to copy a spell if you sacrifice a creature with X power or greater. There are some casualty 1 cards that make the Corrupt Court Official really nice to play on turn 2. So like Corrupt Court Official here. Also do like Citizen's Crowbar, because I love the Citizens deck. And this is a 2-mana 2/2 that gives you a way to blow up an artifact or enchantment in your main deck and an equipment to move around later. But I don't want to, I don't know. I'm going to take the Corrupt Court Official. I really want to do something I haven't done yet. And blue and black are colors I have not touched today overall. So a nice new deck for the final draft. Wow, now we have 2 really good mana fixer cards. We have the blue-black-white one, the Shattered Seraph, or the blue-black-red one, Glamorous Outlaw. We also have Tainted Indulgence at the uncommon slot, which is a blue and a black instant to draw 2 cards, then discard a card, or if you have 5 or more mana values in your graveyard, just 2 mana to draw 2 cards. That's pretty great. Grisly Sigil is also great. 1 mana to do 1 damage to a target and gain 1 life, or you can casualty 1, so sacrifice your Corrupt Court Official to do 1 damage to something and copy this, so you can do 1 damage to 2 things, and if you're dealing damage to something that's already been dealt damage, you're dealing 3. So if you casualty it, you do 4 damage to a target and gain 4. I'm actually going to take Grisly Sigil because it seems really good with Corrupt Court Officials, and I'm going to draft those highly if I'm in black, I think. Light Up, I was going to say Light Up the Stage, but that is not the name. Light 'em Up is an option here if we're going blue, black, red, going Maestros. There's also Cabaret Courtyard, but that's pretty off color for us. Rogue's Gallery is a nice recursion spell. If you have a lot of colors in your deck, this can pick up like 3 or more creatures. There's also Cutthroat Contender, which is interesting. It's a card I'd like to try out. It's probably not going to play very well. It's only 1 toughness, which means it's definitely going to die throughout the game, but it's a 1-mana way to have a 2-power creature on board for casualty 2 spells. So it helps you casualty 2 pretty easily. And it feels like it's probably not very good. I'm going to take Rogue's Gallery here. Seems like a pretty great late game recursive spell. It's not going to be super hard to have at least 3 colors of creatures in your grave late game. Now we have the Ominous Parcel. We also have Body Dropper, which is going to be great if we're casting a lot of casualty spells that make us sacrifice. It's also Make Disappear, which is counter something unless they pay 4 if I sack Corrupt Court Official, and if they pay 2 no matter what. Make Disappear is interesting too. Make Disappear, Body Dropper, and Ominous Parcel all seem good. I'm going to go for the Body Dropper here. We're theming pretty hard towards casualty cards right now. Majestic Metamorphosis seems fine. Riveteer's Overlook is a red-black duel, where it searches out a red or a black source. Or we have Ready to Rumble for late game removal. I'm hoping that because we're in black, we can just pick up Murders and stuff as our removal spells. And be pretty set with just better removal spells than that Ready to Rumble. I think I'm going to take the Overlook here, get a black-red mana fixer. Now we get another Body Dropper so we can really go after the casualty theme. Light 'em Up has played worse the more I've looked at it. When I first saw this card, I was like, that's really good. I'm going to take that really highly all the time, but it's just been okay, in my opinion. This would be the deck where it's going to pop off, though. But they've been going pretty late in the draft pods, so we can hopefully get one later. Probably supposed to take Waterfront District over Body Dropper. I'm still going to take Body Dropper, though. I really like the idea of being the aggro sack deck. I just really like being aggro. I don't know if you've noticed that today, but I've drafted aggro pretty much every time. Crooked Custodian's a nice aggro card. 2 mana, 3 power. Get that out there. And we get a Waterfront District anyway. I'll absolutely scoop that up. We could play Riveteer's Initiate. 2 mana, 2/2 that we can give Death Touch with our black mana, even if we don't have green, but I already got greedy taking the Body Dropper over the dual land, so we'll take the dual land this time. I don't want to repeat past mistakes. Pick 11 now. Join the Maestros. We got a bunch of 2-power creatures we can sack, so 5 mana get 2 4/3s. Again, we have to sack a 2-power creature, so it's like buff one of our creatures and get a 4/3, but still seems good. Love Glamorous Outlaw here. I'll take that over Riveteer's Overlook, because this is a blue-black-red Triome fixer. And it's a really nice card to play late game, even in an aggressive deck, because when it enters the battlefield, you do 2 to your opponent, and you scry 2, and scry 2 when you have 6 mana already is really good, because any lands you hit are going to be useless for you. This might actually be the deck for Involuntary Employment, by the way, because we can steal our opponent's creature and then sacrifice it. If we have a lot of mana. Luckily, this gives us 1 treasure token, so we have at least 1 mana after we cast this, no matter what. We only need 2 mana after we cast it to sack something to a Body Dropper. Alright, so again, for like Rakdos Sacrifice synergies, we can take a Fatal Grudge. We sacrifice a non-land permanent, then each opponent sacrifices a permanent with the same type, and you draw a card. So 2 mana, sack a Corrupt Court Official, our opponent sacks a creature and we draw a card. Seems pretty good against anything but Cabaretti, where they have a lot of tokens to sacrifice. Seems pretty bad there. Girder Goons is going to be really good anywhere, so maybe we take Girder Goons and try to wheel Fatal Grudge. Body Droppers were going relatively late. Probably nobody interested in like Rakdos Sacrifice here, so I'm going to take Girder Goons. I don't think this is going to go as late as Fatal Grudge will. We might actually wheel the Fatal Grudge. We'll find out. Love Strangle, and I haven't got to cast a single copy, so I'm probably just going to draft that here. 1 mana for 3 damage. Take that over Mayhem Patrol. Is it worth it? Mayhem Patrol's sweet. Did a lot of work in our last deck. But Strangle's awesome, and I haven't got to cast 1 copy of it. I'm going to take Strangle over the Mayhem Patrol. I think it's just a really efficient removal spell. 1 mana, 3 damage. 1 mana to kill anything that costs 3 or less, pretty much. Can even shoot a Vivian for 3, which is nice. Strangle Vivian. Okay, well, as much as I love pushing into Rakdos aggro, Reservoir Kraken's a super bomb. Super scary card. Voxy did a lot of work with this against me in our last draft, and it's horrifying, and so I'm going to take it. So we're going to have to be full-on 3-color Maestros, which means we're not going to be able to get as aggressive because we'll need to spend our early land drops playing comes into play tapped lands, but it's worth it to splash in a couple the There are a good amount of Rakdos cards in here, but they're not that good. Ready to Rumble, Slow Removal, Demon's Due, just some card draw, Cut of the Profits, Slow card draw that also costs a lot of life. I'm just going to take a Waterfront District. Darling of the Masses is my favorite card in this pack, but we are playing every color except green-white, unfortunately. Get some more blue mana-fixing cards to make it easier to cast our double blue cards that we really want to cast. So another Glamorous Outlaw, or Maestro's Charm. Can this kill something? Oh yeah, 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker at instant speed? Get in my deck. Get in my deck. Can also grab the best card out of your top 5 instead, and it could be a win condition. Drain your opponent out for the final 3 life. Could end a game. That seems sweet. I like that charm a lot. This deck looks fun. This is way different from everything else I've drafted so far. I'm happy to be ending with this deck because it's going to be a different, some different gameplay for sure. Some aggressive cards like Sticky Fingers and Plasma Chalky, they're pretty sweet, but again, our mana's looking pretty rough here with double blue cards, but blue being our lowest number, so as many dual lands as we can get are going to be pretty sweet for us. Especially dual lands instead of the triomes, because the dual lands get to sacrifice themselves to draw a card late game to help prevent mana flood, which is really good. Another Corrupt Court Official, that's a huge pickup for us. Really nice Enter the Battlefield effect with Casualty 1 cards. It's fantastic, and we do have 1 Casualty 1 card as well as Body Droppers that can get value from sacrificing it. Yeah, I'm happy to take another Corrupt Court Official. Pick 8. Nothing really left here. Got a big Menace card. Guess we don't have much. No, we've got our blue bombs at 4 mana. Maybe just an Obscure Initiate. We can spend black mana to give this lifelink, and Flyers have played pretty well. Yeah, Obscure Initiate it is, I think. Start looking at our curve here to see what we want. We did wheel Fatal Grudge, and we'll absolutely play it in here with Double Court Official. Yeah. Fatal Grudge seems like the kind of card that's going to be really good out of the sideboard in best of 3 drafts. We're going to have some matchups where this card sucks. I'll be completely honest. There's going to be some matchups where this card is absolute poop. If we're playing against Cabaret decks, again, those green-white decks with a bunch of citizen tokens, going to have some issues. But again, there's going to be some matchups where it's really good. We're getting a nice late Girder Goons here. Seems like our strategy's pretty open. This is nice. We have 20 cards and 4 lands in here. We get to pick up a Ready to Rumble, and we've just got a whole deck here. So every card that we take, we just get to cut a worse card from our deck. Dig Up the Body seems okay when we have 2 Corrupt Court Officials. And Demon's Due also seems like a fine draw spell. So what do we have now? We got a Maestro rare. 3 mana for a 1/4 Death Touch Haste. When it attacks, if you don't control a devil, create a tapped and attacking devil. With when it dies, deal 1 damage to any target. 3 mana, 1/4 Death Touch Haste. Doesn't seem that great. I mean, it's Death Touch Haste. The second you play it, it's a 1/4 Death Touch Haste and a 1/1 devil. It's good stats for the mana. 3 mana for 2 power and 5 toughness, spread amongst 2 creatures, one of which has Death Touch, one of which has a good death trigger. It's got to be worth it. It just doesn't seem like the most exciting thing in the world we could open in Maestros, but we have no room to complain. We got an on-color rare. We'll slap it in here. And we got another one passed to us. The Plague Wind of the format, the one-sided Wrath of God. Hostile takeovers 5 mana to deal 3 damage to each creature, but not only that, you get to turn something into a 1/1 and turn something into a 4/4 when you cast this. So you turn your creature into a 4/4, turn theirs into a 1/1 to make sure their stuff dies and your stuff lives. Hostile takeover is insane, and it is easily the pick, that pack. This is cool. This is so cool. I have not really seen Maestros like super pop off, in my opinion. And this looks like it's going to pop off here. So I'm
I don't know. I'm excited. This seems potentially pretty awesome. Pretty cool. Could take a light 'em up here. We're kind of doing the sacrifice thing. I don't think Roastmaster is going to be super good in this deck, nor is Plasma Jockey. Maybe Midnight Assassin would be fine, just a flying death touch there. But that card has not played particularly well in the games that I've seen it run. I don't know. I'll just take a light 'em up, I guess. Don't love any of that stuff. Daring Escape. Not really going to be a combat trick sort of deck. Disdainful Strokes played pretty well. Everybody's had big 4-mana and up bombs. I'm not about to try to mill myself 20 cards. Seems like a death sentence, and I don't have enough graveyard synergies to value milling myself that much. Sizzling Soloist. I don't think we're that aggressive that we want the Soloist, but it's between that and like a Disdainful Stroke. So maybe. Another Body Dropper. Seems awesome. I think that's the pick. It's that, Plasma Jockey, Extract the Truth, Majestic Metamorphosis, Gilded Pinions, and Body Dropper. So Plasma Jockey's probably the closest, but I don't really want to play a card that all it does is I get to discard a card from their hand. Don't really want to play the Trick card in an off color. I don't think I need an equipment to give flying, so I think it's Body Dropper here. Just synergizes really well. We've got a lot of nice ways to sack our cards, and that'll just get us off the ground running with just a lot of damage. I kind of want to take another Involuntary Employment. I don't think I'm supposed to, but this would be the one time I'm closer than ever to being able to play Active Treason and sack my opponent's creature. We could have a dream draw where we have 5 mana, we spend 4 of it on Involuntary Employment, get a treasure token from this, then spend the treasure and the final 1 mana to cast Fatal Grudge and just kill 2 of our opponent's creatures in one fell swoop. Could be absolutely disgusting. I'm going to take a Corpse Appraiser here, another great Grixis card. Maestro's card. Maestros, you heard nothing. I didn't call it Grixis. What are you talking about? It's Maestros. All right, another 1 mana 3 damage card. Strangle, or another Pugilist, which I love, but I've got a lot going on at high mana cost. I have 3 Girder Goons. I'll take another Strangle. And another Fatal Grudge. That's really cool. Goldhound seems really good for this deck too, though. Nice aggressive creature. Hard to block. It's good at blocking 1 toughness creatures. And you get to sacrifice it as a treasure later, get that mana out of it, and when you do that, you're getting a counter on Body Dropper. So Goldhound's pretty interesting, but I think I'm going to go for another Fatal Grudge. And we get another Corrupt Court Official. Get on in here. You're very good with triple Fatal Grudge. Now we get to take one of these Plasma Jockeys if we did want that. Take this Disdainful Stroke if we did want that, but I think we're pushing into primarily red-black. Blue as our splash, just for our big bombs. Okay. We get to cut a lot of cards. I think Maestro's is pretty wide open here. Oh yeah, every single card we took was in blue, black, or red. We have 20 creatures and 15 non-creatures right now. This is insane. Not so sure about Rogue's Gallery making it all the way. Same with Dig Up the Body. We have Double Strangle, so I'm not so sure how good Light 'em Up's going to be, especially because we have Double Strangle, Grisly Sigil, Fatal Grudge, 2 of them, Maestro's Charm. We have a lot of removal. We've got the Wrath effect too with Hostile Takeover. Ready to Rumble is definitely not coming in here. I don't think Join the Maestros is either. Demon's Due doesn't seem that important, but it would be our only strictly draw spell. I think all of these are definitely getting cut though. We just have a lot better versions of all of those cards pretty much. So we need to cut 7 more cards. We have 20 creatures. If we cut 7 creatures, we're down to just 13 creatures in the deck, which seems very low. I don't think that's going to happen. This is kind of rough because we sort of have the dream Rakdos Sacrifice deck that you would love in any other format. But we have 2 bomb rares that require 2 blue mana, and they make our mana base much muddier. I don't think that it's right to cut both of them, but I am heavily considering it. Or we could end up cutting the Kraken, the Operative, and the Obscura Initiate, and then we're splashing blue for just 5 cards that only cost 1 blue mana. So they're pretty easy splashes outside of those 3 cards. I feel like we have a lot of power even without those, to where they're not necessary. But they can end games. They are ridiculous rares. I think this is something that as the format progresses, I'll know for sure how good the aggressive sack version of this deck is going to be versus how good the slower, grindier, more rare version of the deck is going to be. But for now, I think I just meet in the middle and go for that mid-rangey version where we cut some of our hyper-aggro cards like Double Plasma Jockey, Soloist, and Mayhem Patrol, and Crooked Custodian. And we just go for that kind of all 3 of these colors get to run these bigger bombs kind of thing. I think that's what we should do early in the format. When I'm not sure between the two, never hurts to just play your strongest cards, even if it's going to make our deck slower because we'll have to spend more time with mana setup. Yeah, this looks good to me. How's it going, Cowboys? New set has been great. It's been super fun. Super fun. It's really interesting. There's a push and pull very much between, do I want to go 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors? What do I want to do here? Because like even in this deck, we have 2 really good double blue cards, and I just had a whole spiel and consideration between with how good our just Rakdos sack aggro could be. Do we want to cut the double blue cards and just focus really on a really quick curve of Rakdos sack aggro? Or do we go for that slower deck trying to hit the double blue costs? There's a lot of that going on. Mana is always your number one consideration and thought in this format. When do you take your mana fixers? When do you take your treasure tokens? When do you cut the 3rd color? When do you cut the 4th color? As a trombonist, you don't think you can legally recommend cutting Sizzling Soloist? It's a spicy card when you're aggressive, but we're looking towards the cut that makes the deck more mid-range, more late-game focused. So cutting the Plasma Jockeys and the Sizzling Soloist for being just aggro cards. That's 6 cuts here. We still need 1 more cut, and we should definitely cut a non-land card, I think, this time. Probably do cut Demon's Due here. Involuntary Employment is probably also too cutesy, but we have 3 Body Droppers and 2 Fatal Grudges that we can spend 2 mana to sack a creature. So we just wait till turn 5, spend 4 mana on this, hold up 1 mana and a treasure token to sacrifice whatever we steal. It's too cute for me not to do that. But it's probably too cute to actually be good. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the Demon's Due. Cut all this and we've got a 40 card deck. This deck is cool. This is the first time I've played Maestros. I've played 4 pre-releases. Played a few sealeds. I recorded 1 sealed, played a little bit more. And then I recorded 1 draft and then did 3 more drafts now. So out of a bunch of playing this format so far, this is my first time with Maestros. And it seems cool. It seems really cool. I love that we have Hostile Takeover. That card's absurd. Ob Nixilis is just being rude. One-sided board wipe. Alright. Let's give this deck a name. And go for the deck. Or get into the gameplay. What do I say? How do I make a video? Let's get the Maestro sleeves on. I don't know which one of these is Maestro's. It's this one, right? That looks blue, red, and black. How do I unlock this pet? Demonic Construct. All right, okay. I guess that's just unlocked in the early access event. Cool. Demonic Construct is in here. Wow, Fatal Grudge's artwork is so cool. Oh my god, it's like a vertical look down to the streets as somebody pushes another person off the skyscraper and jumps down with them. That's brutal. That's wild. I'm just going to call the deck Fatality for how cool Fatal Grudge looks. We need to make sure our mana's good here as well. That's definitely something to do. Oops. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 black cards and then 5 that are all 3 colors. So we have 17 black cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 red cards. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue cards. So we really need black and red sources. Currently we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black sources, 4, 5, 6 blue sources, and then 5, 6, 7 red sources. Seems about right. Our strongest cards in the deck require double blue, which makes it really hard to cut an island, but that's the only thing I would consider here is cutting another island for another mountain or swamp. I think we're just going to have moderately awkward mana here. Just accept that. Yep. I think this will be the deck I'll say worst mana of the day. I haven't played a 4-color or 5-color deck today, weirdly enough. It's not that weird that I haven't done that in draft, but it's kind of weird I haven't done that in sealed yet. Because I did it multiple times in the pre-release sealed events. Okay, we really need to draw a black source here. But if we hit it, the hand's great, and we have Strangle to help survive the early game, and our opponent's going first, so we're on the draw. Maybe supposed to mulligan. I love how the demons get mad at each other. It's a nice little start there. There we go. Turn 1, we drew the swamp. Never didn't have it. Never punished. Never punished. Just go Body Dropper. Next turn we can play a Court Official and cast Strangle. We don't want to cast Corpse Appraiser till they have something in the grave to exile, which is why I was kind of considering going for Corrupt Court Official turn 2, because it might lend itself into a turn 3 Corpse Appraiser. It might lead into that, if they choose to discard a creature card. Ooh, Hostile Takeover. Ooh. That's spicy. Mega spicy card. Let's just attack and see what happens. They're going to kill shot a Body Dropper? They're going to kill shot a Body Dropper. Sure, I'll Court Official here, put them down a card. We can exile our own card with Corpse Appraiser. Oh, that was a huge misplay. Yeah, you can exile your own card with Corpse Appraiser. Jesus Christ, that card is good. I should have just Corpse Appraisered. Next turn. Next turn we will. Celebrity Fencer. Alright, it all pans out perfectly fine, because now I can Corpse Appraiser and Strangle that. Guess I could have strangled it first, but I don't have any Graveyard Recursion anymore. Oh, wow. Get in the hand, Reservoir Kraken. It's going to take a little while to cast you, because I do want to Strangle rather than Waterfront District. Might be better to Waterfront District there, because we do have Fatal Grudge, but the problem is if they play 2 creatures next turn, it's going to be too big to Strangle, and because they'd have played 2 creatures, Fatal Grudge isn't going to kill what we want it to. It'll just kill their weakest creature. So that's just the safest way to do it, is to just Strangle right there. But we could have gone for the little bit ballsier play. That would have paid out pretty hard if they just play 1 creature this turn. Nothing. Our opponent might be gearing up for their own Wrath effect or something. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. This is real suspicious. I'm still going to cast Body Dropper. Like, they cast removal, they cast creatures. If they had a Wrath this whole time, they probably wouldn't have gone Killshot Celebrity Fencer there. They would have discarded Whack for sure, though. Okay, they just bounced one of our cards. Cool. So no Wrath effect. Glad I played another card to get bounced. Mage's Attendant. A 3/2 that comes with a 1/1. They can spend a mana and sacrifice it to counter something unless we pay 1. That is a really, really good card, the Mage's Attendant. 3 mana for 3/2 and a 1/1, and the 1/1 has good text on it. It's pretty crazy. I can't Hostile Takeover because they'll counter it. Fatal Grudge isn't a really good one. I'm just going to trade a 1/1 with their 1/1. Probably just cast a Reservoir Kraken after combat. Let our 3/3 trade into the 3/2 here. Not looking like a game where we're likely to be wrathing, because we're just going to have the better board state anyway. Boon of Safety. Alright, maybe we're wrathing. We aren't doing it this turn, but our Wrath effect only does 3 damage to everything, so it won't kill our Kraken. And we can use its effect to make our 1/1 a 4/4, so it won't kill that either. Oh my god, this is going to be disgusting. This is going to be absolutely filthy if they don't have Disdainful Stroke here. Hostile Takeover. Target a creature to become a 1/1. Make the Infiltrator 1/1, so even if they put something in grave, it's still small enough to die. Creature to become a 4/4, Corrupt Court Official. 3 damage to everything else. If they don't have Disdainful Stroke in hand, this is... Oh my god, alright. The 3-for-1. None of our creatures die, all 3 of theirs are gone. We just attack for 10. Drop a Body Dropper. Yeah, that was brutal. There's the GG from opponent. It is all over. They've got 1 removal spell, but not going to deal with the Kraken, and they scoop them up. Ugh. That was filthy. One and 0 as we head into round 2. Alright, we are on the play with a turn 2 Body Dropper. We've got a nice cheap Strangle as well, and pretty great mana. We don't have any blue sources, but we have less blue cards than anything else. Oh, that scares the heck out of me. This demon thing is terrifying. Just starts every game with a jump scare. 2 jump scares in a row, to be accurate. There's no scarier card on Magic Arena than Mnemonic Betrayal. It literally like jump scares a skull directly at the screen when you cast it. And it's when you cast it, so you jump scare yourself because you're always going to forget it's going to happen. It's brutal. I hate that card. Alright, let's attack for 2. Down to 18. Let's get our Corrupt Court Official down. Pretty great draw. If we had a land here, we're just going. We're just blitzing into Girder Goons because it's going to hit them for 4. Then it's going to die putting a counter on Body Dropper. Then it's going to make it 2-2. Then we're going to draw a card. Girder Goons does so much here if we hit our 4th land drop. Rigo Streetwise Mentor. We did not hit our 4th land drop. Body Dropper plus Strangle is enough to kill Rigo here. I'm actually just going to attack both. Because even if they block the 1-1, we get rid of the shield counter. You get rid of a shield counter no matter how much damage you do to a card. So this way, either one they block, we lose our Corrupt Court Official and kill Rigo. That's what happens either way. Which seems pretty good to me. Get out of here, Rigo. Looks like this round is one where our awkward man is going to catch up to us. No blue source for Reservoir Kraken. I shouldn't have said a word because there it is. Now we're doing A-OK. As soon as we cast Involuntary Employment, we'll get a treasure token we can then use to get our 2nd blue for Kraken later. Not great to use it on this 2-1 right now, especially when if we use it later, we can sack our opponent's creature. So for now, we're going to start using these Girder Goons, jamming in for a bunch of damage, drawing a card when they die, and getting 2/2s on the board permanently. So opponent is down to 11. Our Body Dropper will be a 4/4, and we'll draw a card here, which might even help us naturally draw the blue source as we have the Waterfront District here. Body Dropper's sweet. This card's great with Blitz, great with Casualty. They are going to exile it with a Buy Your Silence, which gives us the treasure token we need to slam down a Reservoir Kraken this turn. And I think that is the play. Could hard cast a Girder Goons, but Reservoir Kraken just hits harder. Or gives us some fish, which are pretty great. So 6/6 Trample, Ward 2. At the beginning of each combat, if it is untapped, our opponent can tap an untapped creature they control to tap it and give us a 1/1 unblockable fish instead. So they have to tap a creature of their own and give me a creature to tap the Kraken down. Otherwise, 6/6 Trample Ward 2, just going to be slamming in. Another Broker's Veteran from our opponent. Right, bunch of stuff over there. Ooh, Grizzly Sigil. With Involuntary Employment to take their flyer and then sacrifice it to kill both of their other creatures. That won't work how we want it to, though, because when the first creature dies to Grizzly Sigil, they can have it put a shield counter on the other one. So we can't actually kill their whole board with Involuntary Employment, but it's still probably the spiciest thing we can do, because we can kill a Regulator and one of their Broker's Veterans. I think we take the Regulator, because it's like the only guaranteed way we kill it, right? Because we sack the Regulator to the Sigil. It's the only guaranteed way that we kill it and attack with their own creature against them, because if we take a Broker's Veteran and try to attack against them, if they end up blocking it, we're not going to have a great creature to sack to the Sigil, unless they tap down the Kraken. Excuse me. I guess now if they trade their Veteran into my 2/2 to put a shield counter on the other one, then that's where we get the redundancy out of Grizzly Sigil. By dealing 1 damage to the Veteran twice, we'll still kill it. Alright, yeah, that works out really well for us. Pretty disgusting. Yeah, that was pretty excellent. Am I falling in love with the Maestros? Is that happening here? Are my green-white citizen roots being absolutely just pulled out from under me and now I'm just the devil? I'm just the evil Obnixilis demon guy. Because this is disgusting. I should have blitzed Girder Goons just in case. But, yeah, lethal on board here if they didn't have a 2-mana instant speed removal spell. This deck is crazy. This is wild. I don't know if it's the best deck that I've drafted, because our first white-green draft that we got the 7-2 run with was pretty insane. But this seems pretty nuts, too. Seems pretty nuts. Here we are in round 3 now. That was a really quick round, too. I enjoy that. Didn't have to wait too long. Oh, all right. We found the mulligan. We found the mulligan. Oh, could you imagine this was a blue-black duel and then a mountain? This hand would be insane. All right. Uh-oh. Now, this is the biggest issue with our deck. The mana can certainly come back to haunt us. I think we get rid of a Fatal Grudge because it plays so poorly against tokens. And we need red mana for it anyway. Almost the whole hand we need red mana for, but at least we cast a Court Official this time. This is not looking super hot, but I don't think it's a mull to 5. We are on the draw here, which is very helpful. Gives us a shot, an extra shot at getting that red source soon. Maestro's Theater from our opponent. The mirror match. They grab a swamp. Glamorous Outlaw solves our issues. Not entirely. We're still going to need to make it to 5 mana, but everything else in our hand's 2 or less mana, so Glamorous Outlaw turning one of our lands into a Triome. That works. Great draw. Black-red from our opponent. Corrupt Court Official of their own. But I like my cards. I like all of my cards. This is what we get. This is the Karma game here. Probably take a Strangle, I guess? No. Well, we've got Hostile Takeover to try to work towards. I'll do 3 to everything. Oh, wow. We even just... didn't even need the Outlaw. There's the red source. Drop some bodies. Now if they cast another Corrupt Court Official, we can just discard the Outlaw this time. I would rather they didn't, though, because Outlaw does make sure we have double blue if we draw one of our bombs. One of our non-hostile takeover bombs. What kind of trick are you pulling here? +1/+0 first strike? That is a red mana card in this format. 1 damage to a creature. Actually, there's a 3 mana 2/2 that gives everything -1/-1 when it comes into play. It's probably that. Just take 1. There's no like ninjutsu in this format. I don't think there's a way they get us by us letting that through. Alright, we can go Court Official here and play the tapped land this turn. Body Dropper, I guess, just trades into their Death Toucher. I don't love that, but I don't hate it either. Probably not worth it because we're only 1 mana away. We're only 1 land draw away from casting Hostile Takeover. We still need to play 2 more lands, but we only need to draw 1 more of them. So I think because we are likely to be able to cast a Hostile Takeover this game, we probably should not trade off Body Dropper for Midnight Assassin. We can make our Body Dropper a 4/4 to survive the takeover, and their Midnight Assassin will not survive the takeover. There's the Night Clubber. We'll kill our Corrupt Court Official, so I did read that correctly, what the attack was about. This card is great. This card's a super high pick for me. Again, part of that might be biased because of how much I love the decks that make a bunch of 1/1 tokens, but this card is great against that kind of stuff. pretty great in general. So we're 1 mana away from casting Hostile Takeover. Is it worth casting another Body Dropper when it's just going to die to Takeover if we make it there? I don't think it is. And we have some time. We're only taking 4 a turn maximum. Let's just pass and use Glamorous Outlaw on one of our lands, I guess. One of our non-blue lands, so if we draw a double blue card, it's castable. We could instead play Body Dropper and put Outlaw on a land, but then one of our Body Droppers will die to the Takeover when we cast it, and I think that's our game plan here. Just try to win off of Hostile Takeover. Blitzing in a Girder Goons. That is not spicy. Not spicy for us. That's pretty bad. We're still all set up if we hit the 5th mana for Hostile Takeover, because everything they have is going to be 2 or less toughness to take 3 damage. But we did take a big hit there. So if we do not hit the 5th land, we're going to be in pain. And this is also actually a rough choice, because if I target the island, it can now tap for black or red, meaning if I don't hit a 5th mana, I can cast a Body Dropper and have the mana up to use the sack ability. I can't do that if I target any of my other lands, so would I rather do that to make sure I can cast a Body Dropper and use a sack ability, or would I rather make sure I have double blue in case I draw a blue rare? I think I would rather be able to sack a Body Dropper, because I need a backup plan if I can't Hostile Takeover, and the backup plan of playing a Body Dropper and making one a 3/3 on blocks doesn't seem bad to me. Maybe it is. Maybe that isn't a great backup plan. But I feel like that's our only backup plan, so I'm still going to set up for it. It's going to be awful if I top deck a double blue card, though. Alright, we got the Hostile Takeover, so we don't even need to think about it. We just cast it. Doesn't matter what we make a 1/1, it's all going to die anyway. But we do make Body Dropper a 4/4. Hostile Takeover is a sick card. They're now down to 17. Now our Wrecking Crew. 4/5 Reach Trample. I guess we just play Glamorous Outlaw so we have our own blocker. Now we scry away any lands we get. Involuntary Employment with the Body Dropper now, and we get to do the thing. That's definitely a good draw, as is Fatal Grudge. Sure. Those are both gas. It's happening! It's happening! Oh my god! Somebody clip this! No, don't. Be a really long clip because we're just going to sit here waiting, looking at it at top of our library. We're like, it's coming. It's coming soon. Well, now that we know that we're playing now that we know that they are playing a 5/5 Vigilance Menace, we're going to wait to Involuntary Employment so that we can steal their creature, sacrifice it to make them sacrifice their other creature. For now, we'll just pass. We're like, oh no, I can't do anything. We only get punished if they top deck Corrupt Court Official. Otherwise, they just spend 6 and play this. I think even if they had Corrupt Court Official, they might consider just playing Masked Bandits. But if they drew into Corrupt Court Official, we've got 1 card in hand, so it would be tempting to just make us discard our 1 card. So fingers crossed they didn't draw that, and they just spend 6 mana and play Sly Cooper. Alright, they played Sly Cooper, and now we just get them. We just, like, mega win. Not really, but we get the super value here. Steal their bandits. Is it more damage if I sacrifice it right now to Fatal Grudge? Because we kill their 1 blocker and hit for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I don't sack it right now, I don't want to attack with these 2, so I just attack with these 2 for 9. Yeah, it's 10 instead of 9. It's more damage to just sack it right now. That's filthy. Disgusting things are being done with this deck. This is the rudest deck I've drafted today. I probably said that every single deck I drafted. These are some rude things you can do in this format. It is not fun. We have lethal on board, so we'll just attack. Oh boy, oh, somebody clipped it. Somebody clipped the really long clip. I don't know how they got this. They got the invisible avatar too. How do I get the invisible avatar? I want it. It's so sweet. It's delectable. 7 damage. Silver tier 1. I'm gonna rank up to gold. Bronze to gold speedrun. On the VIP account. Could you imagine if somebody bronze to mythic on this somehow? We're 3-0. This is an average deck no matter what, and after seeing it in action, I really hope we get far better than a 3-0. I would normally be pretty happy, 3-3 or better, but this deck it's doing wild things, and I just want it to keep doing them. I just want it to keep doing things. Flight Chicken is our opponent. We have perfect mana here in a turn 3 Maestro's Diabolist with Fatal Grudge to sack the devil we make. This seems sick. Could also do the involuntary employment again. Stop jump scaring me. This freaking demon. And we have our one-sided Wrath as well. Hostile Takeover. This hand seems nutters. Black-red from our opponent. Rakdos. Riveteer's Requisitioner is the play. Alright. Play a 1-4 haste into your 3-1 and attack with a 1-1 devil. Yeah, we've got the involuntary grudge combo. That's a good point, Lucy. That's a good name for it. Alright, hit for 2. They have 3 mana here. Attack us down to 17. Play Exhibition Magician. Corrupt Court Official is the draw. We are probably leading up to a hostile takeover here. Is it worth... You know what? We have good cards to sacrifice to Fatal Grudge because we have devil tokens. Even if I already cast Involuntary Employment, and Involuntary Employment will guarantee that I have the mana to hostile takeover next turn. So I think that it's worth just casting Employment here just to guarantee a hostile takeover next turn. Get this treasure token. And we hit pretty hard too. Get some extra damage in here. Remember that last game when we mulled opening hand was kind of man, it didn't matter anyway? Yeah, I mean, that was insane. Urabrask, I'm happy to make you a 1-1. I'm real happy to make you a 1-1. Fatal Grudge, well that's not going to get cast. Alright, Urabrask, you're a 1-1. 1-1 Devil, you're a 4-4. Boop. Hostile Takeover is like the dumbest card I've cast all day. That thing is absurd. I genuinely think that's probably better than the big Mythic Rare Angel I cast a bunch. It's so good. It's so insanely good. We can strangle that Initiate. I think that's what I want to do. Save Fatal Grudge for a bigger creature later. Rip out a card from their hand with Corrupt Court Official and have a good card to sack to Grizzly Sigil. That's what we want to do. I guess we do have that combo where the Diabolist is going to make it Devil if we sack this Devil, so we could have just sacked this Devil to Grizzly Sigil or Fatal Grudge. But I like holding these cards for later, even if the Devil does just immediately replace itself. But that is really important to keep in mind. When we do want to cast this, we should sack the Devil, not the Official, because the Devil will come right back the second we attack. Okay, so Glamorous Outlaw it is, so now we Fatal Grudge. Sack the Devil and get a new one. Ooh, is Gurdragoon's lethal? No. It's not lethal. If we blitz Girder Goons, they block it and take 3. That is far from lethal. So we Fatal Grudge. Sack the Devil. Force them to sack a creature as well. 1 damage to the face, and then hit them for 3 on the attack, putting them to 2. And we draw a card. Why is this deck so good? Why is this deck so good? Maestros are... When you get the Maestro Synergy deck, this stuff is disgusting. I have not played against what I said was going to be the worst matchup yet. I haven't played against just green-white tokens. Or green-white-red tokens. I still feel like that's going to be a bad matchup if it happens, but... This has been completely bonkers against everything we've run up against. It's crazy. This is a super fun deck, too. Because every time that we make like a really... Well, a lot of the time when we make a really powerful play, it's because like multiple cards like coming together well. Like the Fatal Grudge with the card making the Devils and stuff like that. It's nuts. Oh, hey, it's Lord Tupperware. Lord Tupperware is part of a limited podcast that's really good. We can't keep this, unfortunately, even though it's got a best card in the deck. I think I have the mulligan on the play. This is beautiful, mana-wise, so we will keep it. I don't know what I pitched, though. Do I pitch a Body Dropper? I really like having double Body Dropper into Girder Goons. I might get rid of Fatal Grudge. I don't know if that's right either, though. I'm not sure. It's a rough... it's a difficult choice on the mulligan. Not a rough choice, because we have good cards left over. But turn 2 Body Dropper, turn 3 Body Dropper, turn 2 Girder Goon seems like the gas. So I don't think we get rid of a land there. Hey, I know you, Maestro's Diabolist. Welcome back. We are no longer doing turn 2 Body Dropper, turn 3 Body Dropper, because we drew a better turn 3 play. Which means Girder Goons isn't going to be as cool turn 4 if we do hit the land, but I think we'll still do it if we do. Because it's still going to be good. It's just not going to be insane. Alright, we hit the land. It's going to be good, so let's do it. Alright, they're going to block the Devil token, grab a land. We will shoot the face with the Devil token's damage and hit them for 5. So hit for 6 here, put them to 12. Draw a card, and our Body Dropper's now a 3/3, and we have a 2/2 out. This is the matchup I said would be bad. They're green, red, and white. They just start spewing tokens everywhere. Will be an issue. We were on the play, though, which is pretty lucky here. It's going to matter a lot in a matchup against Cabaretti. Lagrella, so they are blue for sure. So they exile Civil Steward and our Maestro's Diabolist? Diabolist? How on earth do you say Diabolist? It's such a weird word. They could exile the token and it's gone forever even when Lagrella dies, whereas their creature will come back with a counter. Well, they will choose the Diabolist. We've drawn a Corrupt Court Official. Spicy. Spicy, spicy, spicy. Do we cast that and Body Dropper here, or do we blitz the Girder Goons out? What happens if I blitz Girder Goons out? Attack all, and I hit for 8 if they block the 2/2. I don't hit for 8 because I can't sack the 2/2 in response because I won't have the mana up for it. I think I want to Girder Goons next turn when I have 2 body droppers down. But I think I'm just going to main phase 2 another body dropper here. I'm going to hold on to this land in case they just go Swamp, Corrupt, Court Official, because, I don't know, they have green, white, red, and blue. Could very well have black mana. That's probably not worth playing it around, though. I should have played the land, because now if I top deck an untapped land, I would have had the mana to cast Girder Goons and sacrifice a card to a body dropper next turn, but now I won't, because I can only play 1 land per turn. So next turn I'll be stuck on 5 mana, even if I hit another land. I just live in fear of Corrupt Court Officials, which is why this deck is very hypocritical. Always in fear of the Virus Beetle. Ledger Shredder. If I cast 2 spells in 1 turn, they connive. It's also a 1/3 flyer, pretty solid blocker. Cabaret Charm deal 2 damage to our body dropper. And they've cast their second spell this turn, so they connive. So it's when either player casts their second spell each turn. Just draw a card, discard a land there. Okay, Grisly Sigil is the draw. Ooh! So, we can kill the Grella and get back our Maestro's Initiate. Is that worth it? We'll sacrifice a creature and body dropper will be bigger, but their Civil Servant will be a 4/5. I don't think that that is worth it. If I kill Ledger Shredder, and then I play Girder Goons, and attack with everybody, if they block Girder Goons, they take 4, 5, 6, 7 still? No, just 6, because we won't have the 1/1 anymore. Well, they'll take 6 and we'll get our card back. They'll be at 3? I think I'm supposed to kill Ledger Shredder and then let Lagrella die during combat. Or do I try to kill both with Sigil after combat? This is a decision. I think I kill the Ledger Shredder. Blitz that out. They don't get to connive. Attack all. They go to 1 life if they block our 2/2. Otherwise, they go to 3. All right, they're going to go to 1. All right. Some life gain in hand, I suppose. Draw a card off this Girder Goons. We got a 4/4 and a 2/2 down. 5/5 and a 2/2, my bad. Rocco, search for any 2-drop from their library. Hopefully nothing all that scary. Fingers crossed, no Gala Greeters or anything like that. No sick rare at 2. Corpse Appraiser is going to be a great play next turn. That's a sweet draw. Riveteer's Decoy is the choice. And they go to 2 life thanks to Cabaret Courtyard. So even if we get a Devil token by getting our Maestro's Diabolist back, still just be okay. All right, so Corpse Appraiser, what are we going to get here? Reservoir Kraken and Body Dropper? Take Reservoir Kraken? Can't afford to play it right now, but we can next turn. For now, we attack with a 5/5. They double block with both of their 3/1s. If I attack with both, they can't double block this with 2 3/1s. So if I attack both, they double block Body Dropper. Oh no, they can. If I attack both, they just block the 2/2 with a 2/3 and then double block that. So I think I just attack Body Dropper because either way it's going to trade with these two. And if I attack with the Rogue as well, it's just going to die. And if I sack the Rogue, the Body Dropper is still going to kill just as many cards. So attack with just Body Dropper. Get this stuff off the board. Lethal on board next turn if they can't play another creature. No longer playing around them having a discard spell in green, blue, white, red. Just going to play my land out this turn. Skycrier, it's a lifelink, that's big. And fight rigging to get +1/+1 counters is huge. We had that card in our green, white 7-win deck. That card is great. Counter every time they go to combat, and if they make it to 7 counters, they just go for it. Well, we could also just top deck Strangle to get rid of the lifelink. And attack all. Okay. Strangle is a very sweet card. This is the first time I got to play with Strangle, and it's doing good stuff. We made it to gold! We made it to gold in the early access event. That's crazy. And that was GG. That was well played by Lord Tup there. Still hanging on very late there. 5-0, 1,600 gems, if it mattered. This is a great draft run. Super happy with this deck. This is fun stuff. This is fun stuff. I gotta say, I guess I just really like the gold commons. They're really pushed in this set. Body Dropper and Civil Steward. Those are both excellent cards. It feels like for this set, because they're starting to focus on the 3-color factions for this set, it feels like they had to push. You know the gold uncommons that are like, these are the draft around uncommons that are pretty good. They'll show you what you're doing in your archetype. They're pretty powerful uncommons. It feels like they had to move those cards to the common slot. Like, these are powerful, like, uncommon worthy cards you can build around, draft around, that are pretty sweet. I'm probably supposed to mulligan this. We've got a Strangle no matter what. We've got 2 mana. Double Involuntary Employment. That's super awkward, even if we make it to 4 for the Reservoir Kraken. I think I'm definitely supposed to mulligan this. Even though our colors are good, our land count is not. And these 2 are kind of dead this early in the game. I'm going to mulligan. Ooh, this is worse, unfortunately. All we need is a black source. Guess I should have just kept the first hand. Still really don't want to push down to a 5-card hand here. Greed time. Get real greedy. Gotta get real greedy. This jump scare demon. There we go, black source. Alright, we made it. Just gonna be a little slow. Not playing our 2-drop on turn 2. We gotta wait till turn 3. Corrupt Court Official. Ow. That's pretty painful. We really need this blue source. We can't just discard the land and Dragon Pet go brrr. True. I guess we're just not Corrupt Court Officialing them. Well, we don't need Body Dropper because we have our threat. Our threat is Reservoir Kraken. Corrupt Court Official is really good with the Fatal Grudge here, but Reservoir Kraken's really good with Fatal Grudge too. Yeah, no, I'm going to discard the Court Official. Because Kraken can make 1/1 fish, and we can sack the fish to the Fatal Grudge if we make it to Fatal Grudge time. What does this do? Because we've got the mana for it. It's just a great removal spell, mainly. So not something we want to cast right now. Let's play our 2/2. So the mirror match is here. Ooh. We did draft the deck where Pyre Sledge Arsonist could actually put in some work. For 1 mana, they can tap it, deal X to any target where X is the number of permanents they've sacrificed this turn. That's even scary enough. I kind of want to just shoot it. Maestro's Charm's an instant, so I'll wait to shoot it until they try to cast a casualty spell or something. I'll shoot it in response. So they have to sacrifice 2 creatures for this to be able to do 2 damage to our body dropper. And there's no cards that will let them sacrifice 2 creatures the moment they cast it. There would be some that could let them do it when they resolve the spell, but yeah, our body dropper's not really at risk here when we have the instant speed way to kill the Arsonist. But because of the way casualty works, you sacrifice the creature as a cost to cast the spell, so the creature will just be automatically sacrificed before I have a chance to respond. So this can do 1 damage if they cast a casualty spell. We won't be able to stop it from doing that. They're going to attack in. Let's take 3. And they're going to pass turn. 4 mana up. I guess if they have a counterspell, we might draw the counterspell for them to protect their Arsonist. No. So if they have a counterspell, it's Disdainful Stroke to counter something with mana cost 4 or more, which is not something that we get to play around no matter what. So we'll just do it post-combat, just in case they have instant speed removal for Body Dropper. That's the only thing we can do to play around a counterspell here. It's just combat first, maybe they throw instant speed removal at that before they take damage. But otherwise, try to get a Kraken down. No Disdainful Stroke. No counter unless I pay 2. Please, fingers crossed. It's on the board. It's on the board. It has Ward 2, so if they spend 2 additional mana, they can still target it. So if they have a Murder, they can go Swamp and then murder the Kraken for 5 mana instead of 3. So they're in a color pair where they're a color trio where they're pretty likely to be able to beat a Kraken. I'm holding on to the land again because they are a Corrupt Court official deck, as are we. This is such a sick Maestro's card. I love it. Oh, I just noticed there's little cars. It's like a slot car derby. You see little cars on these every once in a while. Some car just drives by. I'm so excited for that. I can't even. Just pay attention to the top left corner. Eventually you'll see a car again. I lost my mind. I was like, oh my god, look at that. It's so adorable. Little Hot Wheels. Alright, well, so far our opponent hasn't blown up the Kraken. Kraken's still out here doing its thing. Oh, they're just going to let it in. All right. Take your 6 damage. We're going to play a land here and then sack our Waterfront District during their end step to draw a card. That is our plan. They have a 0 mana way to kill. Okay. There's a lot of thinking here. There it is. Look at the little car. There you go. I caught it that time for all of you. That's incredible. I love this board. It's super beautiful and really elegant and stuff. And the little Hot Wheel car in the background is incredible. It's so adorable. Glamorous Outlaw is pretty good. 2 damage to us and they scry 2. 1 to top, 1 to bottom. Attack in for 2. Their graveyard has 0, 3, 2, and 4. So if we kill a 6-drop, then the Newsy is active. And it'll be a 3/3 lifelink. To combat and away. Fatal Grudge looks pretty bad here, too. Pretty bad in the Maestro's mirror match. I think we kind of have to just play it to draw a card. All we do is trade our 1/1 unblockable for their 1/1. which is not a good deal, but we draw a card and we need to get some gas here. Otherwise, they just kind of start killing us with their 4/5, because they can just keep tapping our Reservoir Kraken. We're only going to hit for 1, then 2, then 3, and they have a lifelinker as well pretty soon. We have to draw something good. I have to just Fatal Grudge to draw a card. Our worst Fatal Grudge yet, but we drew Maestro's Diabolist. It's got haste, so I think I'm going to hold on to it for next turn to get a surprise attack in. Cormella, Glamour Thief. Haste 2/4. So they're going to hold that up to block the Kraken, or tap itself for the Kraken. Uh-oh. They're going to cast something off of it. Rooftop Nuisance. Keep the Reservoir Kraken tapped down and draw a card. We've got our own Glamour Outlaw, then we block theirs and take 4. Probably better than Diabolist here. If they have removal, they've got us. Strangle's pretty good because we kill the Newsy, and we can still cast Diabolist in the same turn. I'm going to keep that. Alright, Moment of Truth. Removal spell for Outlaw. Another Rooftop Nuisance? Would be pretty good too. That would also be lethal, because they can tap down our 4/5. Incriminate. We have to sacrifice one of our 2 creatures. Obviously, if we sacrifice the Outlaw, we die. So we need to sack our 6/6. Fingers crossed they attack all. No, no attack all. They play it a little safe here. The right play. Strangle their Newsy so they can't get any lifelink. And then things are pretty even now. If we send in our 4/5, all we can do is trade into their 2/4. If I play Diabolist, I get to attack with it and Death Touch whatever they block with, but if I Death Touch the Glamour Thief, they get to pick up Rooftop Nuisance from their grave, so we really don't want to kill that. Glamour Thief. So, do we even just play Diabolist and then just not attack? Because I feel like if I attack with this thing, they just block with Cormella. That dies. We got a 1/4 and a 1/1 Devil, right? But then they just Rooftop Nuisance, tap down our 4/5, draw a card. Our whole board is tapped and we take 4. But then it goes to our turn. We have an untapped 1/4 and 1/1 Devil still. Or just 1/4. Maybe it is worth the attack. What else do they have in grave? Oh, they've got Rogue's Gallery. Pick up 3 of their creatures. Pick up a Snooping Newsy, a Corrupt Thing, and a red card. Carmella's ability is really good here. That's an issue. Yeah, if we just jam into Carmella, then they can just pick up half their graveyard, basically. Pick up their card that picks up 3 creatures. I don't know what our plan is here. Body Dropper's not bad. Might make it worth attacking. Because now if we attack with Diabolist, kill Carmella, but we can sack the Devil when they block with it, and then we have a 3/3. We'll still have Diabolist around unless they block with the 4/5, in which case we're killing the 4/5 and we don't have to worry about them bringing an instant or sorcery back from grave. Still feels a little extra ballsy, but I'm going to do it. Maybe we are still just supposed to sit here and just wait for Hostile Takeover to win a game again. This is a rough choice for our opponent too here. We could sack this so we don't kill Carmella, but them to 6. Kill Carmella, have 3 creatures on board. Sure, they can get 1,000,000 creatures back if they choose that one spell, or they can tap down 1 or 2 of our creatures if they choose the other spell. Yep, they're going to get 1,000,000 creatures back. That is the choice. But they're going to be choked up on mana here. They can't cast any of the black creatures they pick up because they only have 1 black mana. So they can only cast 1 or 2 creatures here, maybe. Nope. They've got another black source in hand, so they might be able to just roll out everything they pick up. And Carmella doesn't exile. She's one of the few cards that does not exile herself when she dies and pick something up from the grave. So she can loop infinitely with the Rogues Gallery. They could keep blocking with Carmella and picking up Rogues Gallery again. Wow, that is nuts. Okay. It's going to cost most of their mana to recast her here, though. Oh, they had a Strangle in hand, too, for the Body Dropper. Rough. I just play the lifelinking Newsy. Oh. Hostile Takeover. I'll take it. I mean, I'll take it. Whatever at this point. I have 15 bombs in the deck. Just keep dropping them. This deck is pure evil. This is like unfiltered villainy. 6-0 here. The most Ob-Nixilis deck that does not contain an Ob-Nixilis. So we're 6-0. Potentially my first 7-0 in New Capenna draft. And we're against the Ham TV. The Ham TV is a hilarious streamer. So a very good player as well. He's got some pretty chill, pretty laid back streams. A lot of competitive practice is what he does. He just has pretty dry, chill sense of humor that I find really funny. Don't watch him super often, but I enjoy when I do. And the Ham will be our final boss. This is a weird hand. This is a cool hand, though. First time we've drawn our Undercover Operative. We start dropping Corrupt Court Officials here. And just shredding their hand away. And then a Grisly Sigil to kill 2 1-toughness creatures could be funny. Nope. Rafine's Informant is going to be a 2-toughness creature. I'm going to trade here. When they get their fishes, we can kill their fishes with our Sigil. They discard a 5-mana bird. Another Rafine's Informant. They're stuck on 2 mana here, potentially. Which means they're definitely discarding an on-land, getting another 3-2. Yup. Just jamming out a couple 3-2s early game is gonna put in a lot of work. We can Undercover Operative our Corrupt Court Official or the Rafine's Informant. Neither of those seem like good plays, so I don't think we actually even have a play this turn. Awkwardly enough. Awkwardly enough, I don't think we can really do anything. I guess they're stuck on 2 mana, so just getting a Rafine's Informant is fine. But it won't have a shield counter. But we'll draw a card, discard a land. Trade into a 3-2. It is what it is. We've got what we've got. Gotta draw some action, so we just spend 4 mana to get a 2-1 and connive. Trades. Take 3. Metamorphosis. They will win the combat and draw a card. Hostile Takeover. Strikes again. I don't want to cast it right now, though. I want to let them put more stuff on the board. And I'm not all that concerned with our 1-1 staying around. Because if I cast it right now, they still have 3 more definite gas, cards that are definite gas coming up that we have to deal with. Plus 2 fishes. can get the 2 fishes here, maybe? They're going to get the 2 fishes. So now I think we cast it, and then we just have to worry about their 3 cards in hand instead of anything on their board. Slam in for 4. Keep a land in hand in case they're Obscura, or do we just drop it? If they're Obscura and they corrupt Court Official, again, I live in fear of that card. I don't know, I think we probably just drop it here. They could just be white-blue. Very well. Land past turn. Got Fatal Grudge, that'll be spicy. We're just gonna hard cast a Girder Goons as a big old 4/4. Do it. Kill shot our Corrupt Court Official. That would be really funny. I want it to happen. Alright, Girder Goons, get on out there, big old ogre boy. Exotic Pets. That is very threatening. We will Grizzly Sigil to kill both of those if they don't counter them. We'll wait to do that till post-combat. Run our Girder Goons out of town. Alright, I'll redraw it. We play that post-combat for sure. So we can get our 1 damage in. Kill the fishes, gain 2. And the goons are back. Broker's Initiate, a 0/4. They can make it a 5/5 with that blue mana. It's going to hit us pretty hard. Do I trade a Body Dropper for the Initiate, or do I trade a Girder Goons for the Initiate? 5 mana to do that. Let's play Body Dropper before anything else, and then we attack with Goons. That being a 5/5 is a big deal. I think we have to Fatal Grudge. Post-combat here. We'll let them do something funky if they want. To spend a combat trick to kill the Goons, and then we can just sack the 2/2 that the Goons creates instead of the 4/4 Goons itself for our Fatal Grudge. Alright, they're down to 10. Yeah, I think I sack Goons here. Counter on the Body Dropper, get a 2/2 down. So we have 1 less power on our board. We get rid of their 5/5. They have to spend 5 to make it a 5/5, but it still threatens us for 5 damage. Cool. Draw a card, land, play it. Swooping Protector, 2/1 flash, flying with a shield counter. That's going to keep jamming in unblockably. We're down to 6. Just try to outrace them here if we can. They have a flying lifelink. That is going to be really bad for us. We need to draw our Strangle or something here. Strangle or another Fatal Grudge, something like that. That is neither of those. We're dead in 2 attacks. We're dead in 2 attacks, even if we kill one of the birds. We have to draw like our Act of Treason here, I guess, to find lethal. Because they're going to be at 7 life. And we have 5 power on the board. Alright. Act of Treason off the top for lethal. Oh no, they're going to kill Body Dropper too? Act of Treason no longer lethal off the top. But we get to get their life gainer, so we don't die immediately on the crackback if we get it. And just another land. Alright, final draw. Another land. Rough ending to this one. But overall, pretty close. And a good game. 6-1 it is so far. Did not get the 7-0 dream. I had hopes. I had dreams. It ends in defeat to Flyers. Six and 1. We still got 2 more losses before we're out of this one. So we got 2 more shots to get that 7th win. And I'm going for it. This deck deserves a 7 win, even if we can't get a 7-0. So many atrocious bombs in this deck. That game unfortunately just curved out really awkwardly for us to get one of our best bombs being a clone card in a game where our opponent just gets an early aggro start with just some 2-mana 3/2s. So we had to just clone a 2-1 of theirs. Not the best use we could get out of our clone. Alright, well, all in on Reservoir Kraken. We've got Maestro's Charm turn 3. Kind of a slow hand, but we're going for it. Just need to draw 1 blue source. I love when there's 2 of them out. That's so funny to me. Alright, opponent's off to a slow start as well, which is nice. They're on Riveteers, green, red, and black. Masked Bandits is going to get exiled to make their mana whatever color they need, and they're going to drop an Unlucky Witness onto the board. That's a draw. Now we've got a turn 3 play. Maestro's Diabolist. Get that jamming in there. 1/4 Death Touch and a 1/1 Devil, and that Devil is exactly the sacrificial fodder that we want for our Maestro's Charm. So they're going to block with the Unlucky Witness so that they can cast one of their top 3 cards this turn if they want. Deal Gone Bad won't do it, so I don't think they cast any of them. I don't know what just happened there. I think they picked the one that they wanted out of the top 2. I don't think they could cast either, though, because the Bandits is so expensive, and you can only exile it from your hand. You can't exile it from exile to get your mana. So Witness basically just missed for them. But Arena's being a little confusing about it. Alright, so Kaldaya Strongarm here. Blitz it out, hit us for 4, draw a card. Fair enough. Cycle that here, dig for some way to get rid of our Maestro's Diabolist. No blue source, so no turn for Reservoir Kraken. But that's okay. Body Dropper's pretty great here. No reason to blitz out a Girder Goons, we're not getting that aggressive. If we want to blitz out a Girder Goons, we can wait to do it till our Body Dropper's on the board getting counters out of our sacrifices. Riveteer's Overlook, pulling out a land, gaining them a life, getting it into play tapped. Call in a Professional. We don't have the mana to sack 2 things to save this, so it's a very dead Body Dropper. No blue source for Kraken still, so we can hard cast a Girder Goons here, or blitz it out. I think I would rather hard cast it, so that it sticks around. Keep a 4/4 body instead of a 2/2. Pass the turn. Opponent has reached 6 mana for their Sly Cooper. 5/5 Vigilance Menace. Pretty scary card. We have reached our double blue for Reservoir Kraken, though, and we have a great play of Fatal Grudge to kill the Masked Bandits and hit them for 1 and just replace the Devil token and then play Reservoir Kraken post-combat. That's really good. They're down to 8. Here's Reservoir Kraken. Green, red, black does not have its own Wrath effect. So we don't even have to worry about overextending unless they drop a white source and deal 3 to everything. There's a green-red-white Wrath that does 3 to all non-tokens. That doesn't even kill anything here. Titan of Industry. Oh boy, okay. That's a card. They're going to gain 5 life and get a 4/4. Wow, okay. I thought we had it in the bag, but that Titan does change things a lot. Doesn't do anything else now. It just does a lot when it hits the board, right? Yeah, just when it hits the board. So, I think we just attack with everybody and use Grizzly Sigil and Maestro's Charm to make sure we finish off all their creatures, and then we just keep playing more stuff after that. Just have to trade some cards up here. Okay, this looks pretty good to me. We just Grizzly Sigil, don't even have to sack something for it. To finish off the Titan of Industry. We could sack the Devil token if we want, because we'll get it right back next turn, but I'll hold on to it in case we find another thing that wants us to sack. So let's go black, Grizzly Sigil. We get to do 3 damage to Titan of Industry and gain 3, since it's already been dealt damage this turn. And we could hold up a Maestro's Charm or cast a Corrupt Court Official. I'd rather hold up a Maestro's Charm, I think. Kill their next blocker before we even untap. Or if they don't do anything important, we could just draw our best card out of our top 5 instead. So they play a 3/3. It's a pretty decent blocker. Blocks our 2/2 and 1/1 well. We'll blow that up if they don't play anything else. Alright, they don't play anything else, so we will go ahead and blow that up with 5 damage. Keep everybody else getting in. We can just cast 2 Corrupt Court Officials and empty their hand here. Combat trick to save the Jewel Thief here, maybe? Nope, sack the Racer's Ring to draw a card. So we only get rid of 2 of their 3 cards when we drop our Corrupt Court Officials. We've got Involuntary Employment to find lethal next turn. Alright, they're down to 7. 6 power on the board. Drawn to another Corrupt Court Official to be the rudest player. So we had to get that one last discard in there, last second with this deck, to just really emphasize how rude this pile of cards is. Looks like just a bunch of combat tricks and auras in hand, but no creatures left, so that'll be lethal. 7-1 it is. We only dropped 1 round this time, and this time to the Ham TV. We are consistently just losing to some great streamers, just my favorite streamers. Just lose to the Ham TV, lose to Voxy. I'll take it. 7 wins otherwise. Great run. Super absurd deck here. The synergy is through the roof with all these sacrifice effects and cards that get valuable, get triggers when you sacrifice cards, being able to... Oh, we did beat Lord Tupperware. So that was a little bit of an RIP for Lord Tupperware. But yeah, Body Dropper is awesome. All the different ways you can sacrifice stuff, making this get bigger. When you're sacrificing cards to its ability, when you're sacrificing cards to Fatal Grudge, sacrificing cards to Blitz effects. Girder Goons was phenomenal. This is a solid black common, definitely one of the best ones. Triple Corrupt Court Official was great as well with sacrifice effects like Body Dropper, Fatal Grudge, and Grizzly Sigil, allowing us to sack those 1/1s. Hostile Takeover was the MVP. This card is S tier bomb. The dumbest card in the whole deck. Won a lot of games off of that card alone. Anytime we cast this card, it felt like we didn't need to do anything else all game to win. This card was super dumb. Maestro's Diabolus was a really fun rare, because this is the kind of rare where every game where we got to cast it did go really well for us, but it also required some work from our other cards. Every game where we cast this worked really well for us because it's pretty solid stats for the mana cost. but it's also just really good with sacrifice effects that you've drafted, like Fatal Grudge and Body Dropper and Grizzly Sigil. So that is like a cooler rare to me than Hostile Takeover, because Hostile Takeover is just like, you don't need to do any work. It does all the work itself. This card is just dumb. Mega bomb. Actually, our double blue rares were some of the weakest things we were doing. We only cast Undercover Operative one time, and we copied a 2/1 to draw a card and discard a card. And Reservoir Kraken was pretty solid. It was a large creature for that mana cost, but it did get harassed a lot. It got dealt with most of the times where we dropped it down, but Undercover Operative really underperformed. So I think the deck probably would have done pretty much just as well if I went with my first build of the deck, where I wanted to cut the double blue cards and just put in some more aggressive, like a Mayhem Patrol and a Plasma Jockey. I think the deck would have worked just as well, but I don't think there was anything wrong with the version that we ran. Our biggest issue was mana issues at times, but they panned out pretty well for us. We got lucky and got out of them, but that could have come back to bite us because of the way that we decided to build the deck in the end. And I'm happy that I left the involuntary employments in. Again, I don't know if it was the best thing to do, but it felt like most of the time that we had this in hand, most of the time that we cast this, we did get to do the combo. We stole our opponent's card, sacrificed their own card against them to kill another one of their cards with a Fatal Grudge or a Grizzly Sigil. So literally everything in the deck I had a really fun time with and got to do some wild stuff with it. So really cool deck. Super solid way to end the early access streaming events.
Well, that is going to end today's draft. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, you can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to have the YouTube algorithm send you some more of these videos. Other than that, stick around on the channel. We've got more Streets of New Capenna coming as often as I can, and you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, where I'll have extra practice drafts on occasion. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.